Hey, welcome to the channel. It's Jack, the muscle and mobility maker with Stronghold Strength and Conditioning. And today, I'm taking you through a 15-minute shoulder mobility routine for athletes, or just about anybody else who wants real healthy shoulders. But before we get into it, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday, I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life routine, and it doesn't get better than that. So take advantage of it. Ready? Let's go ahead and get into this one. Like I said, today I've got a 15-minute shoulder mobility routine for you to follow along with here. So what I'm gonna do is actually show half of that routine, and then you're just gonna repeat it for the other side here. So we'll get you one side. You could go ahead and either start the video back around if you need to, or just if you got it down from there, repeat it on the other side as well. But we are gonna be using pull-up bands to help us, or resistance bands, with our mobility routine today. Now, when we use pull-up bands, what we're doing is helping set the joint in a better position. We're going to create space at the joint, and we're actually going to get a little bit of a resistance so that we could create some stability at the joint capsule itself. So it's a very effective way to address what's happening specifically at the joint so that we can improve everything that's around the joint as well. And here I'm going to show you how to do that with your shoulders today. So you will need a pull-up band for this. You'll want to start with a band that is in a light to medium range for you, so maybe 25 pounds up to 50 pounds or 75 pounds to start, somewhere in there. And then it is like resistance training. As you get more comfortable with the mobilities, you're going to want to increase the resistance in a linear fashion with a heavier band as you go, and that is one way that you see progress in your mobility at your shoulder and the overall stability and strength and mobility that it has. So get your band. We'll get an anchor point here. We're going to anchor it at about hip height, and let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, like I said, we have the band anchored at about hip height. You're going to place it at the front of the shoulder and bring the arm internally rotated behind the low back here. You want to step out with the leg that's on the same side as the band, so we're getting a nice drive out, pulling our shoulder back in that band there. And then we're going to add shoulder rolls here, focusing on the scapular movement. So I really want to protract the scapula, elevate it, and then retract and depress it, taking it through that full circle. And you could go about 6 to 10 reps in each direction with these shoulder rolls to start. Once you get those 6 to 10 reps in each direction, we're going to take the band and move it down to the elbow. Same positioning, internally rotated behind the back here. The band is going to pull your elbow and forearm off the back some, so I'm using my free hand to just kind of pin it across my body at the hip there on the other side. Again, I'm going to perform those scapular rolls here, and I'm just going to move slow, take my time. You might get some crunchy stuff going on at first that'll work its way out. Might get some interesting sensations to begin with if your body's not used to it. Just let it work 6 to 10 reps again in each direction with those rolls to start. Alright, now we're going to slide it down to the wrist so that it's at the back of the wrist, with it going between your index and middle finger, or ring and middle finger. And we want to internally rotate with the thumb pointed down toward the floor, arm fully extended. We're on both knees here, tight butt, tight stomach, trying to minimize any rotation toward that arm as much as possible. We're going to hold that for a few seconds, and then we're going to go into a full rotation with the band pulling us across the back of your body in that internally rotated position. Move slowly in and out of this one at first. It might be very uncomfortable if your shoulder is not used to that pull, and just take your time getting in and out of the position. Breathe with your butt tight, stomach tight. Focus on diaphragmatic breathing to control your parasympathetic nervous system. You can play with your head and neck in any of these positions to help release any tightness around the neck and shoulders on the top there as well. From here, unwind the arm, and we're going to take it so the band is pulling it directly out to the side. Now the first thing I want to do is let the band take the arm as much as possible. So I want to imagine it pulling it out from the shoulder, the elbow creating space, the wrist getting space, and then I'm going to add internal and external rotation of the arm. So what I'm doing here is actually turning my thumb down to the floor, rotating as far as I can down, and then I'm rotating my thumb back up. My arm is completely straight on this side, okay? So I'm keeping that arm completely straight, and then I'm rotating from the ball and socket of my shoulder as much as possible. Now to get a little bit more out of a stretch, I'm actually going to turn away from that arm some, and you could even go into a full scorpion stretch if you're familiar with that position. From here, we're gonna go so the band is actually pulling my arm long overhead. Again, I want the arm as straight as possible in this position with the band pulling it out in the overhead position. My palm is rotated up toward the ceiling here, so I do wanna make sure that my palm is up toward the ceiling. What I'm doing is shrugging my scapula into my ear, and then I'm pulling back with just the scapula. So I'm not bending my elbow to pull back. It's not a row. I'm actually using scapular depression here and retraction to pull into a good position. Opening up, we're going to take our free hand, plant it down. The banded arm is going to reach up long overhead, and then we're going to be planting the bottom leg kind of like a side plank here. The top leg reaches long, so we really want to lengthen that top lateral portion of your body. And I'm going to roll open as much as possible, and then I'm going to roll shut as well. So I'm going to roll open, roll shut at the shoulder itself, making sure that I am keeping good alignment of the arm and that lateral portion of my body. From here, we're going to take the arm, reach the free arm over, and thread the needle. So we want the arm to be pulled through. I'm actually getting pulled into rotation here, and I'm just going to relax and breathe. When I let the band pull me as much as possible, each time on the exhale, I want to take a little bit more space and increase the rotation that I have here. All right, coming up, and I'm back. Sorry about my voice there for a second. We're gonna place that band on the back of the shoulder here, and again, go internally rotated. This time, the banded side, that front leg, again, is out front. That's on the banded side, and we're pushing ourselves back. So we're actually to hold some tension here. We're gonna do those same shoulder rolls, but this time we're going in the opposite direction, getting resistance from that band pulling us in the opposite way here. So we're gonna start with the same thing, working it at the shoulder itself. Then we're going to move it down to the elbow and do about 6 to 10 reps in each direction there as well. You can move the band lower for this one if you need to, but we're going to place the band at the tip of the elbow, and then I want you to grab it and turn away from the band so that your palm is up. So we have our palm up, the elbow is getting pulled into a deep flexion here. This is going to give a big stretch to those triceps and lats. And then I want you to work your external rotation by dropping the elbow out wide, keeping the butt tight, keeping the stomach tight, and then working up to a high overhead position as well, and just playing between those two ranges, down low to up high, while that arm is externally rotated behind. All right, and there you have it, a 15-minute shoulder mobility routine that you can use as an athlete or someone who's just trying to resolve a shoulder ache or pain, or if you just want extremely healthy and mobile shoulders, then you can take advantage of it. If you like this video, make sure you let me know by clicking that big thumbs up down below, and take a moment to share this one with a friend. If they're an athlete who uses their shoulders a lot, maybe it's a throwing sport, or if there's somebody who is dealing with an ache or pain at their shoulders, this is going to be helpful in their situation. So pass it along, share the love with them. If you're somebody who deals with a shoulder ache or pain yourself and you haven't been able to have it fully resolved and you'd like to do that, what I want you to do right now is drop down below in the description to fill out a coaching application and schedule your mobility blueprint call. This is our opportunity to jump on a Zoom call together so that I can assess your current movement limitations and mobility limitations and gather all the information I would need to tailor a program specifically to your needs. Once I have all that information, then I'm able to clearly lay out all the details of what your program would look like, how it would be delivered, the duration of the program, the cost of the program, and all of that in full so that you have all the information that you would need to make a decision on whether you want to move forward or not from there. If that sounds good, drop down below and schedule that call right now so that we can get you moving in the right direction. Last but not least, if you have not already, make sure you take a moment and hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on future content like this. Every Saturday I'm putting out videos showing you how to resolve aches and pains, prevent injuries, and overall optimize your performance inside the gym and outside of it in your daily life and routine, and it doesn't get better than that. Welcome to the Stronghold Army. See you next week.